It's time to start taking better pictures with your iPhone. Welcome back to Luxeria Labs. If, like me, you've always got your iPhone on you and you love to take pictures, but sometimes you find that the photos just don't match up to what you want, then today I've got some tricks for you. These 5 simple hacks will instantly improve your iPhone photography with no expensive gear required. So let's go. Hack 1, mastering exposure control. Have you ever taken a picture where the sky is just too white or the shadows are just too dark? Well, this is where exposure control comes in. Start in the camera app and frame your shot. Tapping on the subject you want to focus on, you'll see a little yellow box appear. This is your focus point. Next to the box, there's a little sun icon. Slide your finger up and down anywhere on the screen to adjust the exposure. Sliding up makes the image brighter and sliding down makes it darker. Adjust your photo until it's just right and then snap. This is the before and this is the after. This simple adjustment can really add depth and detail back into your pictures by reducing the overexposed white areas in the image or lifting the lost shadows. I find this particular hack is really useful when you're taking images of really dramatic lighting situations such as indoors or sunsets. This is a killer for sunsets. Hack 2, utilizing grid lines for interesting compositions. Let's talk about composition. How you arrange elements in your photography is what will capture people's attention, and how you frame your composition is where you want people's eyes to be drawn to when they look at your pictures. A well-composed shot can make all the difference. So you might have seen some creators using some pretty old school methods to achieve this, such as putting tape across the iPhone screen, even drawing on it with markers. But there's an even easier way to achieve this, and that is with grid lines. And here is how you turn them on. Go into settings and scroll down until you find camera. Find the option labeled grid and toggle it on. Switching back to the camera app, you can now see a grid, specifically a 3x3 grid, divided into 9 little squares. Using grid lines in this way allows you to apply something known as the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is a classic photography principle about drawing people's attentions to certain parts of an image. The idea is to place important characteristics of your scene across these thirds. That can be at the lines or the intersections. For example, when you're shooting a landscape, which is something I particularly love if you've seen any of my other videos, positioning the horizon along the top line or the bottom line instead of straight down the middle creates a much more interesting composition that makes you want to look at this picture for longer. Similarly, when you take a portrait, apply this rule. Have their eyes follow the top line on the rule of thirds. I'm actually framing this video you see right now with that rule. And this way you get to see my torso and my hands and feel a little bit more involved in the conversation. Whereas if I was placed right in the middle, it's not particularly interesting. And you end up losing a lot of detail. Using the grid lines in this way allows you to take a lot of the guesswork out of how you can make an image look exciting. And I think it creates visually appealing images every single time. Hack 3, adjusting your image quality. So unless you're shooting something specifically nostalgic or you want to go for that really like baked in JPEG kind of a look, this is probably what you're going to want to set with your iPhone. Capturing the highest quality images with these cameras can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but by tweaking a few settings, you can get the best out of the cameras. First of all, you want to open settings and navigate to camera. Tap on formats and you'll see 2 options, high efficiency and most compatible. Shooting most compatible will actually tell your phone to save these files as JPEGs. This maintains a higher image quality and is more widely supported than the HEIF format of high efficiency. So my settings are for an iPhone 15 Pro Max, yours might be slightly different, but you want to turn on Pro RAW and resolution control, then change the Pro default to JPEG Max. This allows you to take JPEG photos up to 48 megapixels in resolution. You also just want to make sure JPEG Max is turned on in your camera app. I find the details are a lot sharper and crisper and the colors are just a little bit more true and accurate with these settings turned on. But I will say, keep in mind that higher quality images will always take up more space. So if you don't have the iCloud or a personal cloud of your own, you'll probably find yourself backing up your iPhone more often. Now, this next hack is not specifically for photos. It's more aimed at video, but if you've got an iPhone, you're probably using it for both. Hack 4, exploring the Final Cut camera app. Now, this is a completely free app from Apple themselves, but it is more aimed at turning your iPhone into a very, very capable video camera. Final Cut Camera is a really powerful app that allows you to use advanced controls and editing tools. It gives you features like manual focus, exposure bracketing, and raw format support, which gives you so much greater control over your videos, especially if you're already pretty good with color grading. Not hugely beginner though, I must admit. You can even use things like real-time filters and effects that let you see how adjustments will look before you even take the video. And formats recorded in the Final Cut Camera app are actually widely acceptable across a multitude of editing suites. No conversion needed. And I think it's a really useful app for getting the most out of your camera, because the camera app sometimes just leaves more to be desired. And lastly, hack 5 is just a super quick tip. Using your hand as a little bit of a shield against excess sunlight prevents glare. A sort of similar idea to how lens hoods work on telezoom lenses. So there you have it, 5 easy hacks to improve your iPhone photography. An old but gold photography saying to remember is, the best camera in the world is the one you have on you. Doesn't matter if you've got a gorgeous Hasselblad 907X 100C, if it's at home. So hopefully, my loves, with these tips, you're well on your way to making the best out of your iPhone's camera. Let me know if any of these hacks have helped for you. Try them out. Let me know in the comments box below what your favorite one is. For me, it's often grid lines. I feel like it just really takes the guesswork out of creating good composition. I love hearing about how to get the most out of these very expensive bricks that we carry around with us. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and leave a little comment below. And subscribe for more photography and tech stuff from me. Thank you so much for watching, you gorgeous people, and enjoy taking some beautiful photos.